Hello and welcome back to another Three Hamster Boys podcast. As always, I'm your host, Alexander, and joining me is my brother, Nick.
Hello.
And our father, Jeff.
Jeff, the father.
Yeah, I was thinking about trying to give you something fun, and then it was just Jeff came out, and that was it.
For this episode, JJK is fun.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I see you. He's been paying attention to what we talk about.
Oh, no. He hasn't even seen JJK yet. Well, I guess with that, today's episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about anime in more of our kind of typical informational podcast. I don't even know what our episodes have been called with talking about information.
Right now, there has been no topic.
Yeah,
There's no name scheme except
No,
for
no.
the topic and the drink.
Yeah.
I think so.
I feel like this is like a lore dump. We're just here to talk about anime
With
basically.
a little bit of our own takes on it.
Yeah.
And I think that this one's a little bit unique because we're also have a complimentary drink to go with it.
That is true.
I was about to say, I don't actually think that's unique. I think most of the time
We try to
be
try to spin it
like
in
we had
some...
mead when we talked about Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, and we did Glühwein.
Right, for the Christmas one, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so. Well, since we already are talking about it, we're going to be trying something brand new. This is more of a learning experience for us. Most of the time we come in with a pretty good idea or grasp of how an alcohol should taste or sort of our experience with it. And as a whole, we're talking about sake, but we are trying to take a more refined and learning point of view from
That
it.
sounds so weird for us,
Yeah.
actually.
We actually have a strategy for tasting.
Yeah, it's less of I put some stuff together and let's see how it looks or it tastes or
Both.
Yeah.
Or, this is 3 different types of wine. This is what we're gonna have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we give it our takes. But we're trying something brand new. So through information and digging, we want to learn how to really identify what good sake is, or the levels of I can tell the difference between the quality of sake as it's presented. And we are starting with, it has its own condition rubric or qualifications.
So there's a couple of different parameters when I was looking this up, but polishing is the number one parameter.
Which is, it sounds crazy when you talk about it, rice polishing.
Yes.
Where each grain is shaved off just a bit to get closer to the flavorful core and less of the
husk.
the husk, the less flavored. So it enhances the overall body of the sake the more polished it gets.
And it's crazy to think how small a grain of rice is.
Right.
So when you're taking 50% of it off, it's just a weird concept to think about.
And if you can imagine, the more polished it is, the more expensive it gets as well. So since there are not a mass amount of sake brewers in Virginia, we had to expand a little bit further out. But don't worry, pretty sure most of these sake brands are American in some way, no matter how they advertise it.
If you, viewer, were worried that we were not getting American branded sake, why are you worried about that?
Yeah. So, of course, this will capture the most authentic sake tasting experience for your listening or viewing pleasure.
So all of us have tasted sake before.
Yes.
But we basically were like, that tastes good or that doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
We had no idea what the differences were.
Yes.
Right.
So we have 3 brands that are.
So junmai is the terminology that it's used, and I think this is just the overall identifier for rice polished.
No, junmai means natural. So
That's
it
great.
just has those ingredients in it. If it's non-junmai, then it adds the alcohol to it.
Love it. I would say this is a learning experience.
And then the polishing is the junmai means that it's that lower level, and then
So it's junmai, And then it is a Junmai Ginjo. And then the highest quality, which is a Junmai Daiginjo. And Junmai starts at a 30% polished rate, which means that 30% of the husk has been removed. The Ginjo is a 40%, so 40% of this husk is removed. And then Daiginjo is basically 50 and up. Anything above that, and that is the highest quality, so we've been told. This is all from a relative, like, this is the information we have, and we'll see how it tastes.
I think that the one thing that we're coming into this understanding is that we are not getting the top Japanese brewers. So
No.
so we may not see the big difference in the quality because they're probably not the best brewers
From our batch.
We're also not Somali.
We don't have the
so.
we don't have like the distinctive I can tell the difference.
Right, yeah.
And I think that after looking at this, I feel like we've done a lot of non-Junmai because we get this one's pear, this one's peach.
Those are all Junmai though.
I don't know. So
Yeah. Well,
In any case, we are going to start with the Hakusuru organic sake from, I think it's Oregon. That's what it says on the label. It should be a very clean sake, good old glacier water, tink.
and it's got the lowest polish. It's got the
that was a really unfortunate tink on our part.
Yeah, it wasn't satisfying, but drink it.
But drink it.
Drink it. But it should be good. I don't know. Glacier water is always my expectation with this kind of stuff.
Nope, yeah, that's exactly what you can expect. There's
I think it's a very light rice wine. There's a bit of an aftertaste that coats your tongue with it. Mm-hmm. But I think it's definitely a mild taste.
Yeah, I mean it's good. This is like when I think of sake, this is kind of what I think about a lot, where it's too easy to drink. Glacier water is a great way of describing it, where it's like it's just clear, it's clean.
It's got this little bit of crispness to it.
And then of course there's a little bit of that aftertaste, but for the most part, it's like you're drinking water.
Yeah, very tasty.
It is very tasty.
I mean, no complaints. Mm-hmm. You know, from our inexperienced tongues to really identify it, like this might be the sort of base level, but it's tasty. It's
good.
I'm not against it.
I'm going to be curious to see if we're going to be able to taste the difference.
I'm a little worried that it'll be like, that tastes very similar.
Well, we'll find out. We'll have the opportunity. I do want to talk about our theming for today here. We have decided, actually, it was you who wanted to talk about anime.
I am the least knowledgeable. This is kind of like the Dungeons and Dragons, where I'm going to be the inquisitive one and learning all this stuff.
Yeah. So I think the big thing is when we're talking about anime, what exactly are we talking about? Like, what is anime? How do we define anime? How do people define anime? And
I'll start with the structural one.
Oh
that
gosh.
I gave you.
Okay. Yeah.
Or do you?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's a very. It's like one point of view.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I always joke, oh, that's an anime, and you guys are like, no, that's just animation. But yeah. So what? Okay. So how would you define anime?
I think it's partly the root of it, but I honestly, it's about intentions and like really capturing a vibe.
Yeah.
Because Western cultures try to capture it, but there's something distinctive that's missing, and I don't know exactly how to capture it. I don't know. For someone who's watched a lot of anime, would you agree that it's like there's some sort of energy that is carried, or how it's presented?
Yeah, well, I think, I agree. I think like the basic definition of anime, if you look it up, is Japanese animation.
Yeah,
that is like the textbook definition. But I think, like you said, there is a vibe that comes with it that helps define it as anime. Because as we were talking a little bit before this, there are other countries that are branching out into anime or into this style where I would certainly classify this as anime, even if it's not by a Japanese studio from Japan.
Yeah.
And it's all about like catching the vibe. I think in America we often don't get that because we have like a very feel, like a very noticeable feel for our cartoons or animation. Like Family Guy will not be mistaken for an anime.
Right. I think that, or like The Simpsons or something like
The
that.
Simpsons.
It's like so defined as American cartoon.
Right.
Yeah.
And you definitely look at it and people go, that's an American cartoon.
Yeah.
You know. But, you know, it's like when we were watching the Vision anime that Disney did, you could tell that even though it was an American theme, those animations were definitely anime.
Oh, you're talking about the Star Wars Visions
Yeah.
where they had Japanese studios? Well, they had animation studios from all over.
Right.
But some of them, yes. Yeah. I do hear what you're saying, yes.
It's true. But watching it, there was like a genuine Western influence to it that made it feel off.
It was, I think, is it the storyline, you think?
It's so hard. It's so amorphous to
It's like
kinda
it's a
describe.
moving target. There's
Yeah.
something off about it that doesn't fully capture the feel of it.
Because there are a lot of times where anime is going for more of a Western feel. I feel like Cowboy Bebop is a good
That's what I was
example of
thinking,
this. But I don't think there's anyone sitting down and being like, okay, Cowboy Bebop, not an anime.
Yeah.
Like-
That conversation's never happened.
Yeah, that's not happening. But even other things like Trigun also have more of this kind of sort of Western style.
Yeah, it feels very like Wild West
Yeah,
vibe
yeah.
to it. Even though it has like futuristic aspects to it, it's very grounded in being inspired by the Wild West revolver, gunslinger
Yeah.
sort of environment.
Well, I mean, the other thing we were talking about this earlier is that whenever you watch Chinese anime and you hear them speaking Chinese, it loses a vibe to it also. That
And it's not a vibe.
I-
It's just a jarring moment.
Yeah, because what I would say is there are Chinese animation coming out here that I think fit anime.
Yeah.
It's just like it feels weird because even though they're Japanese and either Mandarin or Cantonese, I don't know what's normally being spoken. Either of these three languages, I don't speak.
We don't speak them. It
Or-
shouldn't matter fundamentally.
I don't understand. Yeah, fundamentally, it shouldn't matter, but you just get so used to hearing Japanese that when it's not Japanese, you're like, something's off.
Yeah.
Something's weird.
It's not bad,
Yeah.
right? But
Right,
your brain is like, why are they speaking like that now? Right? It's like I've listened to English my whole life. When my first French film happened, you're like, what is happening? It's sort of that like switch. You're like, the content is good. I just need to adjust to it, right? Like flip a little switch.
Yeah. I don't think we did a very good job of defining anime, and that's okay. I think, like Nick said, it's a moving target.
But Japanese animation is the fundamental core of it.
Yeah.
And I would say it's also partly how much you honor it if you aren't from a Japanese studio. Mm-hmm. Because I think there are studios that get close.
Yeah.
And I think that would it starts an argument of like, should it be considered anime?
Yeah.
And like, once again, we're not defining it, but it is just a conversation that does happen when you're talking about it. But to clarify, anime isn't one genre. It's not one thing. It's
it's definitely not one art style.
Definitely not one art style.
not one art style, not one character type. It should be seen as just an additional piece of media or art, right? Like movies are one. Animated movies are another. Television shows are another. Anime just falls into that very, very broad category of just a type of media that you can absorb, because there's no set rules. And that's part of it why it's so compelling, because it's just a whole new avenue of art for you to experience.
Yeah. I think kind of going off of that, we can talk briefly about some of the genres that might be different that you might find in anime, just as terminology wise. Because like when we're talking about, yes, it's an overarching umbrella term. That when we're talking about genres, like things like action, comedy, rom-com,
Food,
horror, psychological, like these are all like normal things that you'll find within anime as well.
Yeah.
But there are some kind of overarching genres that might be unfamiliar to new people breaking into anime.
Absolutely.
I think shonen is probably
Shonen is the one that you know.
yeah.
If you know anything about
Exactly.
anime, you know shonen. It basically translates to young boy. So it's like intended for like boys and like teenagers.
Yeah.
so this is the Pokemon, Naruto.
Yeah. It's so
Naruto
good.
God.
yeah.
Pokemon, Naruto.
Naruto.
If you want to get more niche, you get into like Bleach, One Piece a little bit.
Yeah.
Other shonen is like Hitman Reborn,
Whoa,
Radiant, Black Clover, Fire Force.
Yeah.
My Hero Academia.
Oh yeah.
It's huge. It is Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dragon Ball.
Dragon
Z,
Ball.
Yeah.
That's a big one. It is probably the most well known.
Yep.
But following it's the counterpart, which is shoujo.
Shoujo. Yep.
you
And,
wanna-
yeah, and shoujo is basically like Nick said, basically its counterpart. So like young girls is like typically like girls and teens is kind of what it's geared towards. And I mean some examples of that is like Fruits Basket.
Yeah.
The Oren High School Host Club will fall under that umbrella as well.
I would say the most well-known one,
Yeah.
which is a cultural phenomenon,
Okay.
is Sailor Moon.
Oh, Sailor Moon. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
That's the biggest one. That is worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone knows that.
Yeah. Olympics like do inspirations by it. It's
True.
a huge show. But that falls into the shoujo category.
Yeah, and then you get into like the magical girl kind of like trope as well.
Absolutely. And then the last one, which is probably the one that's not said out loud the most.
Yeah.
When you hear it, you're like, what is that again? And it's a genre called seinen, and it just means adult or young adult.
Yeah.
And it usually implies that the theming or the presentation of what they're showing is just more mature.
And not from an X-rated position, although there may be some content like that.
It's like seeing an R rating,
Yeah.
I would say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rating still exists, but if you see that, you are expecting some amount of
Mature.
like theming and examples. I would say the most well-known of those are Berserk,
Yep.
Vinland Saga, probably Chainsaw Man,
I'm waiting for you to say the big one that I'm thinking of.
and Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are huge, they're massive, and they carry these weights of very mature, probably more thoughtful and heavier themes.
And also usually more mind-blowing, I think, is how they're just like, okay. I mean, one of the things that you guys have shown me a variety of anime.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I find interesting is that anime is able to pick themes that other media may not address or look at, or they're able to present it in a way that's very unique and different.
I think the presentation is the most part, because I think any art tries to fulfill an intention,
Yeah.
but I think anime is sometimes a platform that can really capture it in in a spectacle that no other can replicate.
Like you think of Attack on Titan. That's such a unique presentation of theme and whatever. It just is very different.
It's true. Yeah.
I think with any sort of animation, you can cover more fantastical grounds that like we can't necessarily do or tell those stories with live action.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, animation is a vastly important and necessary component to storytelling. And unfortunately, I think sometimes it's overlooked in that regard, where there are some people who just cannot get into animation either because they just don't like it or because they have preconceived notions that it's for children.
Because they think of Disney.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
true. I think Disney has played a large part in making, it's not a bad thing, in making animation really digestible for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it cuts out this expectation that, it really can't talk about themes that like only adults will understand.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that goes into it. Like there is a misconception that people see anime and they see all these bright colors and they see all these like fanciful, fantastical things and they're like, oh, it's another kid show, and they write it off. I think that's an unfair treatment of how it is, but I also get it. I understand it. But there's like an invitation to be like, there is more to it. There are darker, grimier experiences in anime that if you are looking for that, it's there.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll continue this conversation in a second here. I think we are all out of our drinks. We need another glass of sake.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back in a moment. See you soon. And we are back. So
excited.
What was that?
Energy.
Oh my gosh, what was that?
I was lip syncing.
Yeah, apparently. Scared me for a second.
My favorite show.
Yeah, I thought you were like, no, wait, don't start.
He was dubbing over it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Yeah. Wow. Great segue. But before we talk about dubs, let's talk about what we're drinking.
So we are stepping up the next level with the Junmai Ginjo. So this is the 40% polishing. The brand is Taiku.
Yeah.
It says it's produced in Japan, but bottled in New Jersey. So I'm very excited.
And it's a cool bottle.
It is a cool bottle. I don't know how well it captures.
That's actually the main reason.
That's the main
why
reason
we
I picked it
it
There
up.
were a few Ginjos, and this is the one that you were like, this bottle's cool.
Yeah.
This will look good on the
Well,
shelf.
I think it was this or the $80 Mexican
Yeah,
ginju,
that's true.
which would have been fun too.
Yeah.
Either one.
Yeah.
But we ended up with this one.
Yeah, this one was a little less expensive.
Yeah, so I'm not expecting we're going to be able to really taste the difference.
Clink.
I think this might be just maybe cleaner. I don't know as we're stepping up the levels, I don't know what we're looking for.
It is cleaner. It's close.
I thought you're just. It's cleaner. That's it, Your Honor. I have no more words for it.
Wait, it has like no aftertaste. It has even less of whatever lingers on your tongue. It is actual glacier water.
You're right. I mean, that's what I was saying. It's cleaner. It doesn't has a little bit of that, but it doesn't linger as
It just
long.
goes down even smoother.
That's what I was about to say. This is why sake is so dangerous.
This one,
You're just like, we're drinking water.
this one is actually so clean. I don't think there's alcohol in there, which is probably the bad perspective. I think this is it's how vodka's perceived.
Right.
good.
Right? It's like the closer it gets to the distilled and whatnot, just the less of a presence it has.
Yeah.
This is what I think of.
Yeah.
Is what what I think about.
This is so good.
So,
This is
so
really
the next
tasty.
one is only going to taste like water.
Yeah.
It might.
We'll see. We'll see. So wow. Yeah. I mean, I think that's
You know what?
really good.
That's
The
really
other thing
tasty.
is you almost have almost a fruity taste.
I think that's your mind playing tricks.
Okay. I don't know. There's
Nick
like,
thinks this is just water.
No, I I think there is some sort of sweetness.
Yeah. It's not fruit, but like you said, it's a rather than being the harshness, and it wasn't really harsh.
It's like the aspect of a watermelon.
Yes.
Water.
Yeah.
But like it has your like I identify some sort of like refreshing lightness in addition to this drink.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is dangerous.
This is actually dangerous.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's delicious.
We recommend this one.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Well, yeah. All right, back to what we were talking about with anime. We kind of have gone over a little bit of like what anime is. Obviously, I think it's really difficult for us to really pinpoint a definition. We talked a little bit about the kind of like subgenres that you'll see.
Yeah.
I think it's also important.
And there's plenty more.
And there are plenty
We didn't name
more. Yeah.
We named what anime are intended for what audiences.
Yeah.
We didn't actually go into the specifics of new genres that have really identified it, but nonetheless.
Yeah, like we could literally go into like genres that are almost specific to anime.
Yeah.
Like isekai.
Isekai it's like a genre defining for anime.
Yeah. But I don't think we need to go into that right now.
Yeah.
I think something that newer audiences to anime might not recognize or might not understand is that along with genres like this, there are also some very common tropes that pop up.
Oh yeah.
Time and time again. And I think along with those tropes, because it sometimes can feel a bit constraining, I think, with having like very similar tropes appearing over and over again. I think also I want to talk a little bit about the scheduling of anime too, in the fact that it is truly an industry that is regimented.
Yeah, it's rigid
Because it's Japanese.
Well, it's odd though. I would say no other piece of media ever follows it this rigidly.
Yeah.
It's weird if you're not in it.
Yeah, because you can go whenever right before they release it. You have all of these people that are going, okay, this is what the fall schedule looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about it.
Yeah, we're getting into it.
We're talking about it.
Yeah, so for anime, like Dad said, it typically follows a 4-season like fall, winter, summer, spring release times for new anime. So you can literally go online to something like AniChart and see what is coming out.
Every anime from the summer is coming out.
Yeah, exactly. What are the anime that are releasing this summer, this fall?
And there's no exceptions.
Yeah, it's crazy. When I first started looking at this a couple years ago, I was like, so all of the studios play together.
It's odd.
I think a part of it is in Japan, anime is like something that's shown on TV, and so a lot of this is a
network TV.
a network
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
that's true.
at the end of the day, it's just like the turnover is much more consistent than something that you would see from. Well, perhaps America is similar in like ABC, like if you look for sitcoms, there'll always be a sitcom coming out.
Like the three major networks, they always have the fall premiere of
Right,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's to the same level. Like
It's
we're
so
not on
widespread.
the same playing field.
So I'm going to get into a different topic.
Sure.
So
Of course.
when we talk about yeah, of course. When we talk about what is a season of a anime,
Okay.
so if you look at a quarter, it's 13 weeks.
Yeah.
And usually a season is 13 or 26.
12 to 13 episodes.
Yeah, 12 to 13.
Which is basically one quarter.
Yep.
Yep.
There
So-
are exceptions, like you just said.
Yep.
It sometimes goes up to 20, 24, 25, 26 episodes
But basically, they're just releasing every week.
every week. And every time there's a new season, every anime is all the seasonal anime is released within a 2-week span. So it'll be like, oh, it's Thursday. This anime's coming out.
Yeah, exactly. So like if you want to get into new anime and you go to one of those sites like AniChart, you're like, oh, well, it's the end of the week now. 20 anime have just dropped. I can watch 20 new first episodes of all these anime if I want.
It's true. And the weekly schedule is this like foundation that started from like TV, right?
Right.
Like, I would say like morning cartoons follow the same idea.
Every Saturday morning.
Every Saturday morning, exactly. Same idea, right? But on like a broader scale.
I was like, it's on a massive scale.
But like even anime that have been around for a long, long time still keep it up. In America, One Piece airs Saturday night. And you got to keep up with it.
Yeah. or you don't.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. I did want to talk about that because it is kind of different than what most people are expecting.
Yeah, and that is a trope.
Yeah, that is a trope. But there are also a lot of common character tropes that anime have that I feel like there's way too many for us to
So many.
But
list.
a lot of them are really focused on what you talked about before: young boy, young girl, and adult. There's some common tropes for those.
Sorta, kinda.
Yeah.
So, character archetypes are a weird thing in Japan and anime, where it's so prevalent that they are too aware of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
So if you get into anime, the first common trope that you will ever hear
I know what you're going to say.
is called a tsundere.
Yep.
okay. What is that?
It is it's so weird. I think it is. It's so common in anime, and I'm so deep in it that
Yeah.
it's so weird to actually like acknowledge.
No, it's weird to try to describe because it's just like commonplace.
So, etymology wise, like the actual phrasing of it, Japan loves onomatopoeia.
All right.
So, soon, the first part of tsundere is to turn your nose up in an arrogant manner.
Oh.
And dere is your heart beats faster. It's the sound of your heart.
Oh.
Like fluttering.
yeah, so like, you can literally go tsun and like dere, you know.
So it's odd, but the archetype is basically someone who acts in a either pompous or arrogant manner, but that isn't there. But it's usually as a mask to hide their true feelings,
Oh yeah.
where they might be in love. So dere is like a sort of to convey like love or like a pitter patter of your heart.
Yeah, because like I was watching some anime and you guys are like, oh, that's such and such, and you're like, oh yeah, that guy likes that girl, and I'm like, yeah, but he's trying not to show off that he does like her.
It's a weird thing.
It's so interesting that your first connection is a male tsundere character.
Those are harder to identify. Good job.
Harder
Good
to
on you.
identify.
Good
Yeah,
on you.
good on you.
Good on you. What other tropes?
I mean,
Any shonen character?
any shonen protagonist
Guy who loves to yell and thinks the power of friendship is the strongest thing.
and can eat a million plates.
Oh,
of
Big
food.
Eater. Big Eater is such a good trope. Okay, think of like every anime character is Shaggy and Scooby, and it's just a good time.
Well, a lot of them are like the frat boy kind of theme, you know, where they're just, my bros and I are going to do this great things together.
Yeah, it's sort of, but I also would counter that and say that a lot of protagonists, especially shonen protagonists, are almost painfully left blank
Yeah.
in terms of being a character, as it is meant to be a self-insert for the viewer.
And mainly their lines are just, I'm going to do this and I'm going to protect my friends.
Ah.
And that's typically how deep those characters go.
Yeah.
And that is a common trope, unfortunately.
But it is kind of fun with the power of friendship will conquer everything.
It's a joke that's very
Yeah.
common. They're so common that tsunderes are a joke
Yeah.
or joked upon. They themselves are not. It's just something that has been just a popular thing that people write in.
I think you'll getting into anime, the more you watch, you'll immediately be able to recognize these. So much so that the kind of satire, the comedy animes will often make it a point to use these tropes and then demolish them.
Absolutely make fun of it.
Or overuse them to the point where you're like, okay, I get what's happening.
Beat you over the head with this trope, and you're like, okay, this is a lot, but I get what you're doing.
And interestingly enough, I think the horror genre also takes the dere approach, but uses what is known as a yandere, which I actually don't know the etymology of the yond part of yandere.
I do not know either,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
Yeah, how do you describe this?
So there's 2 levels to yandere as well.
True.
I don't know if you know. So yandere basically is just a sort of blanket term for someone who loves someone so much that they are willing to do anything.
So that's why it's
to
in the
get
horror
them.
genre.
Oh yeah,
Oftentimes, yes.
they will kill, kidnap. There's no morality when it comes to getting their love. So they are addicted. And it comes with the common phrase, if I can't have you, then no one can.
Yep.
This is the bunny rabbit boiling on the stove, and anyways.
You're making reference we don't know.
And there's an even heightened version of that, which is it's just a more extreme horror version of it, where it's like I have to prove that I love them to such a degree. Like I'll bring you bodies to prove how much I love you.
So one of the things that we kind of gone away from the genre thing, but one of the things that I thought was amazing is we were looking at something about what type of anime we wanted to watch, or doing a search on Google, and it was funny because you can really select any topic.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it, that I looked up food, and there's a whole
Oh yeah,
whole thing.
Food's a bad
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Food's a bad example. There's so much food.
And it not only is
So
it food,
many
but there's
food.
like food and all these because like right now we're watching
Delicious in Dungeon.
Delicious in Dungeon.
I literally think we're just like an episode or 2 away from finishing.
But the Delicious in Dungeon one is that these guys are fighting monsters, but the real theme of it is how they're cooking the monster.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's such a unique. What we were talking about at the first part of this is that anime can do things that are just so unique and different.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, here, while we're talking about this, we can just go ahead and talk about it. Obviously, we talked about like shonen and shoujo and seinen, but literally we there are other like subgenres that you probably wouldn't expect. There is literally a gym anime based on how to train workouts. And like do home workouts or do workouts in the gym. There's
How heavy are your dumbbells?
Yeah, how heavy are your dumbbells? There's another anime, Cells at Work, that literally makes your body into an anime world.
Think
And
of Osmosis Jones.
it's Osmosis Jones, yeah, and it has like your red blood cells look like this, your platelets look like this, your white blood cells look like this, and it turns it into a whole series about what is happening in the body and like how it reacts to different things like a cut or a scrape or an infection or a virus or something like that.
What's even fascinating is they have a spin-off series called Code Black, where it takes place in a body that's unhealthy.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you get more extreme things like smoking or cancer.
wow.
Super informative, but also super fun.
There are also anime where nothing happens,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
where there is no conflict, there is no strife.
So it's just like every day.
Yeah, yep,
It's called Slice of Life.
Oh yeah, okay.
yep. And to some of those extremes, it's literally just like the characters are camping together, and that's the show.
I would say even an even more extreme one is there's an anime called Tanaka-kun is Always Listless. And it's just about a guy who wants to sleep in class.
Yep,
And that's it.
yep.
And he spends like 20 minutes figuring out the best hand placement on where he should lean on when sleeping in class.
So when we talk about anime having a bunch of genres, it really does encompass a wide range where I think when a lot of people think about anime, they're thinking about like the Dragon Ball, the Naruto, the Pokemon, where it's like action, combat, or they're thinking about like the romance, the kind of like the big eyes and the flowers in the background when a character walks in.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to that. I mean, and then you get into like some of the psychological horrors, like Psychopaths, where it's like, what if there's a world where thought crimes or like your genetic code is based on whether or not like predetermines whether or not you'll do a crime, and therefore like they stop crime before it happens by killing people with an AI gun, basically.
Well, and we've talked about some other ones, like, was it based on the food is how strong you are, and
Toriko.
Yeah, Toriko.
Once again, it's an overlap. It's a shonen, but it also is super food based.
yeah, it's crazy to me. And hearing you guys talk about it, you always go, well, this one has this or this one has that, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I've barely scraped any of the surface.
I think that's
Yeah.
what, well, going back to it, it's what makes anime so appealing, because it feels so far-fetched and outlandish or absurd that you're like, how do they do it?
Yeah.
And then you get to really dive in.
And plus, if you have an interest, whether it's food or sewing or whatever, you can find that thing that interests you.
There is definitely a topic, a genre that if you like, it is in there in anime for you.
The last sort of trope vein that I want to talk about is about episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And there are tropes within just how an anime does things.
Okay.
There are
Yeah.
constants that no matter what, they'll probably show up. It is a joke that in any anime from like 2005 to like 2016, every 12-minute or 12 episode show had a beach episode.
Oh, yo. Mm-hmm.
There was always a beach episode that everyone was in their swimsuits and just having a grand old time.
Yeah.
That is a common thing. So common.
No matter what the anime was.
You're like, how did we get here? A beach episode will happen, or a pool episode.
Yep.
Something with a body of water happens. The other main one that is, it is timeless. And that is the tournament arc.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
Tournament arc, it's so overused, but it's roughly, hey, our characters are going head to head with a bunch of people. Imagine if every single show had like one of the Hogwarts Goblet of Fire happen, where they're just doing a bunch of games against each other, and who's gonna win?
I was just thinking about that. It is in every one of them.
It's in so
super
many
common.
of them.
It's super common.
But I think for writers, it's like, this is how we determine, like, how do we show off new characters or potential new characters that can show up later? How do we set up a power system and like a sliding scale? And how do we show where the protagonist compares? Or how do we show how the protagonist is going to win and beat all these people?
Yeah.
Like, it's a quick, without a training montage, it's like how they up their level. Like, oh man, that guy was really hard. I have to try harder for the next opponent.
Those are the two. I don't know if you have any on the top, but
No, those
Beach
ones are
episode
perfect. Yeah.
and tournament arc are, once again, so overused that they've been parodied.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Before we switch drinks, I do want to talk about one thing that is a slightly off topic, but I feel like it's important to mention here. Whenever you talk about anime, it's almost impossible to get away from the sub versus dub argument, debate, discussion.
Conversation?
Yeah. Where subbed is literally the original Japanese and you're reading subtitles, so sub, versus dubbed, obviously dubbing over with typically, if you're an English speaker, English voices. But again, like dubbing can be in any language. And oftentimes there is an air of superiority. At least growing up, I think perhaps the perception of it has changed a little bit, or maybe we've just gotten older and
No,
it
I
doesn't
think it's
matter
the
as
same.
much.
I think people are still like in such a hierarchy. Like, oh, you still watch dub?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the thing that I always find amazing about that is that you guys will go, "Oh, that voice is in this other anime as this person,"
Yeah.
because it's a. You always talk about this pool of voices that are really good, so they're used over and over again for dubbing.
And that is the same for subbed and dubbed.
Yep.
I will know Yuki Aoi's voice in a heartbeat.
Wow.
She is one of my favorite voice actresses in Japan, and I know when she's doing it, and she has an incredible range, but I can identify all of hers. And then, yeah, it's the same for it, and it gives a level of comfort and familiarity, even though it's crazy. Here's the thing. For subbed versus dubbed, if you're getting into anime and you are an English speaker, God, it's so much easier to watch dub.
It's so much nicer.
It's so easy. However, anime fall through the cracks,
Yo.
and not every single anime gets dubbed. Mm-hmm. And there are some genuine gems that are never dubbed, and I would highly invite you to watch the sub because it's worth the journey and effort to, flick your eyes up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's if you are going to watch it and be intent on watching it, I find that the subtitles allow the anime to really express itself as it was supposed to express itself. Because the dub doesn't always do justice for the voice actors in Japan.
It's true. It gets closer to the casting director and sound engineer's intentions for the actual anime.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes you run into problems with dubbing where you're trying to get like character, like mouth movements or the same like length of time that people are talking. So sometimes the dub can be a little awkward where people are obviously having to like say extra words to fill in
or say something really fast.
And you don't run into it all the time. I think most of the time they do a great job with those dubs, but sometimes it's like a little awkward listening to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I think it's time for
Our glasses are empty.
sake number 3. We'll refill and see you in a second here.
Yep.
And we're back. Hey, y'all. Great to see you again. This bottle also looks very different from what we've had before. What are we drinking now?
For the final step of the Junmai journey,
Yeah.
we have the Junmai Daiginjo.
This is so much more aromatic.
Yeah, you were pouring it and
You were smelling it.
You were smelling it.
I mean, I can smell it now.
I don't think I can smell it right
I
now.
can't smell it now.
Well, I'm closer to the table.
Okay.
Yeah. That must be it.
That's got to be it.
Without realizing it, this is also the Hakusuru, which is the first brand that we drank. So, bottled in Oregon. But this is the 50% and plus Daiginjo for the rice polishing. It's extremely clear. And the bottle is very nice. It's like a cool blue. I like it. Yeah, honestly, I don't really know what else to say. There was a pretty distinct difference between the last two, but I have no idea what this might entail.
Tink.
Tink.
It's also named Shoune. I don't know what that means. If it means something, let us know. It might just be the name of the specific sake in the bottle.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, immediately, you're right. It's a much stronger smell. I think this one has a bit more of a stronger upfront taste than the others. But yeah, then it just kind of like dissipates on my tongue.
Yeah.
You know, from inside my mouth, this one hits the top of the mouth more than the back of the tongue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This starts feeling like a white wine almost. You know what I'm saying? Like It's got it's got a fairly potent beginning, but instead of leaving the traces of what you might expect in a white wine, it sort of just goes. Mm-hmm. So it's got like a very full upfront taste, but then dissipates.
And I think that sweetness that we started feeling in the second one is a little bit more prominent here.
Yeah, that's why I'm starting to compare it to
I might be having a dad moment, but it almost smells like licorice to me when I smell it.
Wait a minute.
A Twizzler.
I caught the licorice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so when we started doing this, we were like, are we really going to be able to taste the difference
Oh,
here?
listen, I was doubtful.
And plus, as we're drinking more, we're probably
Our senses are sharpening.
yeah, that's what it is. They're sharpening.
Yeah.
But I am
About as sharp as a hammer.
yeah, I am very surprised that we're able to taste the difference.
Yes.
Although,
And
yeah.
I think it also might be partly by the bottle.
Right.
Like, in addition to whatever they do for each level of the Junmai, I do think that these are distinctive on their own.
Right.
So I'm not sure if we were handed, 3 of these exact branded ones, but just the different levels, if we could tell the difference.
Yeah, I think that's what because we were talking about this, is that if you had 3 Chardonnays
Yeah.
that were considered the same level,
Yeah.
they're going to taste very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I was going to say is we can tell the difference, but I can't tell if it's a vertical difference.
That's
Right.
true.
I could definitely tell from the last 2, but this one I feel like is in a category of its own in my mind here.
I agree. I think I'm also in the mindset, I'm like, there isn't a blatant, like, oh, this is the better one.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Like, I still liked the first bottle.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that sake in general is such a delicate taste,
Yeah.
right? So basically, we've just had 3 different butterflies land on our tongues. Basically,
That's a fun imagery.
It's a heavy butterfly.
but you know
What has
I-
that butterfly been drinking?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just the delicateness of it is just a little bit different on each one of them.
It's true.
And I agree with you. I don't know whether it's vertical or not. I do like this taste better
Okay.
than
Yeah.
the first one because this one's less on the back of my tongue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say that might be the most distinctive is the first one had a lingering taste that like I could do without.
Yeah.
The second one definitely showed it where it's not needed to be a really good experience. This one does linger a little bit, but I think it is more pleasant than the first one.
Right. And this one's like on the edge of my tongue and top of my mouth. That's where I'm tasting it.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
But tasty.
Well,
This has been a great adventure for sake.
this has been a great adventure. Absolutely. And we're going to continue this adventure by continuing our talk of anime. And I think we've kind of been a bit technical, not even like very technical, but talking about like the dissecting a bit of anime and what goes into anime. And I think it's time for us to talk about like our experience with anime.
We're making it personal.
as well as kind of our intro to anime, because I think for a lot of people there is that moment where you are going from just like seeing anime casually, like maybe you'll flip the channel and like One Piece is on or Naruto or Bleach or whatever, and then moving to like purposefully and actively watching an anime for the first time as like going into like I want to experience this medium and what it has to offer.
So okay, that's a great. I do want to talk about this, but
He's cutting me off immediately.
I'm gonna go off on a tangent,
Okay.
as I always do. Most of these, I think most of these anime are based on manga.
Most of them. I think that's a fairly okay thing to say.
Yeah.
So, did anime lead you to manga? Had you seen manga before anime?
No, I definitely watched anime before. Manga.
Yeah, definitely anime before manga.
Yeah.
And I don't consume that much manga.
Yeah, I don't think Nick or I read a lot of manga. Occasionally, there'll be something that'll catch my eye. Like my roommate had the entire box set of Demon Slayer and made me read all of it. So I read that, and I read a good chunk of Marshall as well. But I mean,
I had a moment where I read a bunch, and now they're all being made into anime, and I can't just help you. I'm just frustrated because I'm like, why did that one get it?
yeah, it's less of like, oh man, the book was better than the movie or whatever, and more of like, the book, why didn't they make that into a movie?
Yeah, it's kind of like that one. It's not like, oh, the book is so much better. It's like, why did they choose that book?
Right.
Kind of feel.
The other thing is something that you guys talk about a lot is that there's a season 1, and then there's
Okay.
thousands
Okay,
of them that are just
you're right.
season
okay.
1.
You're right. We didn't talk about
Speaking
this.
of anime tropes, back into the third part
Wow,
of this.
that might be the harshest anime trope out there.
This is something, you know what, honestly, if you're getting into anime, you gotta accept this, all right? Instead of there's no happy endings, there's no endings, all right? 12 episodes will happen, and you're like, I can't wait for the season 2 of this. It never happens. It will never happen. You have to get in the expectation that if an anime airs for 12 episodes, that's it. That's all the content you'll ever get from that anime sometimes.
Yep. Or 10 years later, they'll make a season 2 for no reason.
And it feels so late. Shout out to Blue Exorcist.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you guys have said, man, that was so good. And then there's the other side of the trope. They make a season 2 that's just horrible.
Why did they give it a season 2?
You know, because I think a lot of times you guys go, I just don't look at season 2.
I mean, we were talking about this last episode, I think, with Darker Than Black,
yeah.
where it should just be acknowledged as the season 1 and no further.
I have, in the meantime, watched the anime, the OVA, and the season 2. And season 2 had its moments, but I think overarching, they just like kill the main character as like a good character. So it's kind of rough.
But good, honestly, good call. We weren't even thinking of that.
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
is
no,
the
that-
biggest
that-
anime trope that if you're getting an anime, you gotta know. You gotta know.
Because disappointment will abound.
Well, and I think part of it is one, like normal TV stuff, looking at ratings, like how watched was it, do people want it, whatever. But also like sometimes you have to think like this anime is just kind of an advertisement for like the light novel.
Yeah. Sometimes it is just an encouragement to go watch the source.
Yeah.
And that is weird to think about.
And painful a bit.
Well, the other thing I was thinking about is that there's a worldwide audience, but I'm not sure that they're looking at a worldwide audience when they create.
Probably not.
I don't know.
Probably
They're
not.
probably saying this is not appealing to the Japanese audience, so I'm not
Probably,
going to do a season 2.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe. And also, I think sometimes it's like arbitrary, or they're just like, this is our pony. We are going to make this show pony work no matter what. We're going to prance this around.
And that's tough sometimes. Sometimes you're like, this shouldn't be the one getting all the attention and budget.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Moving back to what we were talking
Sorry
about.
about that.
No, honestly.
No, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Great swoop in.
Yep.
We're returning to the first experiences.
Yep.
And you were starting to talk about how valuable or impactful
Yes.
your very first
Your very
intentional anime is.
Yes. Yeah, I think I had seen like Pokemon or like Dragon Ball on TV before, but it's like in passing you're seeing like maybe like an episode every now and then. You're not like sitting down and watching the story happen. And I think your first go at anime, especially because sometimes anime is weird.
Oh yeah.
Is different than what you're expecting, different than what you've seen in the past. Your first experience with anime could really make or break whether or not you want to continue watching anime.
Yeah, I think for me, if it's weird, I'm like, this is interesting.
Yeah. Well,
See, like I cannot remember the first anime that I saw.
I was about to say weird in certain ways.
No, well for me it's weird in any way.
That's because we've catered to you.
No, I totally agree. So they have. It's kind of like when you say, okay, my son is now 11 years old. We're gonna touch on some topics that might be a little bit adult, but they can watch it now. There's going to be extra gunplay or whatever it is in an action adventure movie or whatever. So how they have pulled my wife and I into anime is, okay, I think the parents can see this one now.
Yeah, it really is like
We
that.
are hand picking, and we go to a drawing board and we're like, is this a really good one?
Yeah.
What should we look out for if they do watch it?
Yeah. But the problem is sometimes you just get fixated on anime that is like probably not great, but you're like, this is the one that resonates with me.
Oh yeah, and back to the first. Sometimes you just throw it at someone who's like, I need to get an anime. What should I watch? And you just throw an absolute curveball at them, and that's how they begin their anime journey. Sometimes.
Well, I'm thinking about the ones that you've shown me. Right, we've seen Full Metal Alchemist.
Like 8 episodes.
Yeah, you've seen a couple episodes.
We also saw the one that Mom actually loves, which is the My Dad's a Hitman or
The Way of the House Husband?
Way
The
of
Way
the
of the
House
House
Husband.
Husband.
Okay. I was a little unsure.
Yeah, The Way of the House Husband. Your mom absolutely loves that.
I mean,
Which is a weird one because like the animation style is
really bad.
Yeah, it's like slideshow
There's
presentation.
no animation.
yeah, it's very different. And then I've also seen Attack on Titan for a few episodes.
Yeah, we didn't get too far yet.
Please, you just watched a couple episodes. You can't say that you've seen Attack on Titan.
We've seen
You saw season 1 of Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer, which I loved.
Yep, you're almost done with Delicious in Dungeon.
Almost done with that. But so Demon Slayer is one of those ones that is really hard to watch in some ways.
Elaborate.
Yeah, please.
Because it's very, very bloody.
Oh. No.
Bloody comparatively to what you've seen, yes.
Yeah, there isn't like I got shot. There's like a speck of blood.
No, I mean, a spider web goes through a group of fighters.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, we've been just desensitized, I guess. Dude, I'm like, that's cool.
Because what we've talked about, was it The Abyss?
Oh,
Made in
okay,
the
Made in
Abyss.
Abyss. That's the gore isn't the.
I was about to say that, yeah.
That's more psychological.
Oh man. Oh man.
But yeah,
I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole.
But then we've also seen One Piece,
you've seen a couple episodes of One Piece.
So they've gotten to Usopp in One Piece,
which is what's episode
12.
No, we've gone further than that. No,
I don't think so.
12 out of 1,300, 1,100.
1130.
Hey, you're almost there.
Yeah. Baby steps. And you've seen A Vampire Dies in No Time.
Yep.
What else? I think that's
Tanya the Evil.
Tanya the Evil, Yujo Senki.
We've seen a couple Ghibli movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen Ghibli, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle,
House. Yeah.
And what was the one that?
Oh, a Princess Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which for those who don't know what Ghibli is, it has a very distinctive art style.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Ghibli is just a studio. And it is probably the most whimsical and fantastical. It hits a lot of people in nostalgia because that's what they kind of grew up with alongside Disney if they absorbed anime in any way, to be honest. And there's a lot of well-known ones. Spirited Away is probably the most well.
I think so. Yeah,
I would
say
tentatively.
Spirited Away, yeah.
Ponyo is also extremely well-known because Liam Neeson did the dub for it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Howl's Moving Castle, it's Christian Bale.
It's true, yeah. They pull out the stops.
They do. I mean, but also The Boy and the Heron, the most recent movie.
Had an incredible cast.
Right.
Mark
Dafoe,
Hamill,
yeah.
Willem Dafoe, Robert Pattinson, my hero. Dave Bautista was also in it.
Yep.
So I think that you guys have been very selective in letting us kind of see a wide variety, and then for me also, I'll drop in the anime.
Go in your own, yeah.
Because I'll go, oh, that looks interesting. I'll do it. And then, like I said, there was the one where this introverted guy and this very outgoing girl, and the guy's like, oh, she's so wonderful, and she's like, I don't want to pay attention to you. So I don't know what it was, but you're like, oh, that's this. And I'm like, I guess so. I don't know what it is.
I have no idea what you're referencing, but could be anything.
I'm confused, but that's great. All of this to say is it's important to know where to begin. Consider it like a hive, and you got to know what the best entrance is, right? Honestly, just look at it like a house. Don't climb in through the chimney. Bad stuff will happen. Take the front door. It's the easiest and most understandable.
Nick, do you remember your first anime that you watched?
So it was recommended to me.
Okay.
But you also alongside recommended another one. Okay. So I watched them parallel.
Sure.
So the one that was recommended to me, and the one that probably got me really hooked, to be like, what is this? It's an anime called Angel Beats. Mm-hmm. It's 12 episodes contained, which means it actually has an ending.
Yes.
And the other one that you recommended...
Oh, God, what did I recommend?
...was Senyu.
Oh, my God. That's great. No, that's perfect.
Senyu is a shorts comedic just rag on RPGs and fantasies.
Oh, really?
Where it's like, you're the hero, number 141, you know?
It's weird. Okay, so this goes even more into the tropes of anime, but anime is typically about 30 minutes, like what you'd expect for a TV show on television. Some of them go a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Some of them have exception episodes that are longer. Sometimes the pilot is a bit longer. But most of the time, they're about 30 minutes. Most of the time, without commercials, it's 23.
Yeah.
But there's also a subgenre of anime where it's shorts, where the episodes are 5 minutes
real quick,
max.
in and out.
And so Senyu is a show where it's bits, nothing but the bits, all the bits. It's just comedy bit after comedy bit over and over again, but in a fantasy world that's making fun of RPGs. It's really funny.
Really quippy.
And yeah, it's a great one.
So those are my intro, basically. Those are the ones that I think about the most.
Yeah.
Because they were my first. Angel Beats. We talk about this.
Yeah.
Do you want to quick share your first anime?
Because I'll say I had very good, something that sticks with me forever, and something that I don't think was phenomenal, but I also watched two anime kind of parallel as my first, before I talked to someone and they were like, hey, you should watch Angel Beats. And I was like, oh, whoa, that's great. But my first two that I watched were Darker Than Black, which I talk about a lot because I love Darker Than Black, and Witchblade.
Dude, I didn't know you caught Witchblade that early.
It was so early.
Ooh,
so is this a cringy one? Or?
No.
Okay. What I will also say, it's kind of weird because you're in the room here. I watched both of these probably a little too early. Both of these shows MA rated, so mature audiences. Darker Than Black MA because it touches on some sexual themes that we talked about, but mainly because it's violence and
gory.
Yeah, they're killing people, and oftentimes it's pretty obvious.
Witchblade.
Witchblade.
Okay, speaking of a genre that we didn't talk about, which has cemented itself in anime, it's called ecchi.
Yes. It's a term that you'll hear a lot in anime is fan service. basically is just like over sexualization of characters.
Okay.
Witchblade kind of perfectly encompasses that.
That's a tough one.
It follows this like mom who gets powers to turn into like basically like a sexy demon lady, essentially.
Yeah.
And she fights other sexy demon ladies.
So it's for young guys.
No, it's for older adult guys.
Yeah.
It is not a shonen.
It is very gory. There are a lot of like sexual themes. Even some of the enemies are like kind of sexual representations in a way. And also, the show just wasn't good.
No, it's not a good show.
It's just not good.
I haven't finished it because I thought this was bad, but that was later when I started watching it. As a first, no good.
So I watched Darker Than Black and I was like, this is awesome. I love this. And I watched Witchblade and I went, I don't think anime's for me. I don't think I want to watch this.
So real.
I was like, that was terrible.
Before we get real deep into it, I want to say there is the extremes for perception of anime.
Yeah.
We talked about, it's anime. It's animation for kids. There is an absolutely valid perception that anime is for degenerates.
Yeah. Yes.
For people who just have this sort of like fiending for, sexualized animated characters.
Yeah.
That is another extreme. That's not what anime is.
No.
But there's a whole genre for it.
Yeah. You can find that.
Yep.
All right. I think we've been talking long enough and we need to get to our last sake. So we're going to go finish our cups. You're already done.
Yep. I really liked it.
Very tasty.
And we'll go on to the next one. We'll see you in a moment here. See you soon.
Rare for water.
And we're back. As Nick said, a rare 4-part episode here as we have a special drink to finish us off. Nick, what are we drinking?
Okay, so once again, I might need assistance because I'm still having trouble really figuring out the difference between all the Junmais, and then this is not a Junmai, which means it's been introduced alcohol later on.
So what I've read about it is that these non-Junmai, they add alcohol to add a full body nature to it. So what we're really going to be trying to taste is whether it deviates from that clean, clear taste of the natural, because it means natural.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and there's like 3 ingredients, just like the purity laws for beer in Germany.
Right.
So non-Junmai adds this extra like brewer's alcohol to it. So it's adding additional flavors.
So this might be closer to a spirit.
It might be closer to a spirit. Yep.
Well, that's exciting.
It is. I mean, then again, it may not taste any different to us, so.
Yeah. Well,
So this is Kyodai. It is also a Daiginjo, though, so it means it does have the really high-quality polishing attached to it. This is a product of Japan, as far as we know. It's imported from California, but other than that, that's all we know about it. It's, once again, extremely clear. There's no
deceptive.
There's no way to tell any differences for the most part.
did you smell this while you were pouring it?
I did not. It was not as aromatic.
I'm afraid this.
It smells like the first two, honestly.
I'm afraid this might be like a vodka where it's like, oh, it has no scent, and then whoa. Oh, they're going back.
No, don't worry. It isn't gonna hit you like a vodka. This one I think is a lot more reminiscent for me of the first two. I think that third one really kind of threw a wrench in what I was expecting sake to be. This one is just so smooth for me. It just goes down super easy.
I would. It's hard to describe how much fuller the taste is.
Yeah.
Because it's when we drank the sake, the other three, it was clean. It just kind of hit the tongue and it was gone. This one lingers in the front of my mouth, in the back of my mouth. It lingers all over. I just think it's a fuller. It's still a very clean taste.
Yeah.
Yep.
It kind of reminds me if you put 2 and 3 together.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. That's a good way of looking at it.
Where it has the very full body nature of the third one, but it still has that really like quick like end,
Yep.
like the second one.
I mean, I think that now we're spending the time to look at these individually,
Yeah.
but I don't think that if you look at the first one and the fourth one, the disparity between those four is not enough for us to really say.
Oh, no.
I would say if we did a blind test, no idea.
Yeah.
I
Now-
think if we did a blind test, the only one that I would get right is the third one.
I think I could get the second one
Oh.
because it ended so abruptly.
So the one thing that we did not get is that there is a table sake, which is considered polishing that's lower than
30%.
lower than the 30%.
Right.
And so it is kind of like table one where you go, okay,
Does the job.
that's a $5 bottle of whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we didn't need to do that one.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so either. But I think that these, and the other thing is that we have to think that this is the highest level sake from a polishing standpoint. So we're really getting a very good non-junmai.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's delicious.
So I
Very
mean,
tasty.
yeah, I mean, and I don't think it was. I would be curious to see if we picked so none of these bottles were over 100.
It's true.
That's true.
Yeah, because that would be a lot.
Yeah.
But there were bottles that were over 100, and we could have gotten one. I don't know if we would have really
Appreciated it.
appreciated the higher cost.
That's how I feel about wine.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we had a friend that their rule was if it was under $10, she was willing to buy it. You know, this was a few years ago.
I'm not quite there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that I understand why they added this to make it. I think it's more of a spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think this would be when I'm making cocktails. This is the one I would use.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably true. Yeah, because it does act more like a gin or whatever.
Yeah, this is probably a better, no matter how good of quality it is. Obviously, we can drink it. Because it has this very full-bodied one, this is probably the easiest to identify in a cocktail with a bunch of other spirits with it as well.
Because the other ones would, like the Daiginju that we had first, that would be lost, I think.
The first Jinmai?
Yeah, the first Junmai.
I think
Jinmai.
I think the first and second one would disappear, and you might get like a little bit of like refreshing or crispness, and that's the only identifier. This one I feel like could hold up against not a gin.
No.
Not a gin.
No.
Not a gin.
No, but you could do
Vodka.
some lighter ones where
Tequila.
Tequila, definitely. I think this would go pretty well with a tequila drink.
or liqueur.
Or liquor.
A liqueur, yeah.
I think a liqueur would be a more appropriate because I'm trying to think of when you'd mix sake and tequila.
I'll find one.
Yeah.
I'll find one.
I'm sure you will. So,
All right.
we've talked a lot about anime here. And I think a part of it, we were like, oh, our anime experience was good or it was mixed or whatever. But a bad first anime experience can really make or break your love of anime.
So we're here to help.
So we're here to help that a little bit. We've talked about our firsts, but now I think we want to talk about what would be a good anime to be your first if this is something you're considering.
And there's some parameters that we want to put in to
Yeah.
really try and cultivate like for you just a little bit more, because we can throw out 3 anime and those not appeal to what you're looking for.
Right.
So we talked about it. I think Angel Beats, my first anime, highly recommend as a first anime.
I'm going to give a caveat to that.
Okay.
Hit me with it.
You haven't even seen Angel Beats.
I haven't seen Angel Beats
And he's already
He's giving caveats.
because
is that why? Because you haven't seen it?
no, because like the girl animes are a certain feel to them. You know, that if someone's looking for like an entertainment kind of anime, those seem to be more like entertaining, kind of not very deep kind of animes.
Okay. I think I know what you're saying, but I don't necessarily know.
So, like, I was watching one where these teenage girls were going to the beach and they were going to an ice cream shop. And
That doesn't really help us.
I don't
at
know what
all,
your path is, but yes, keep going.
so it wasn't, it was more, I guess it's more slice of life.
I think you
Yeah.
don't like slice of life.
No, I think that if someone's looking at it and that's what they like, then
Yeah.
there's some really good animes that do that.
This is
Sure.
why I'm recommending Angel Beats.
Yeah.
Okay.
It hits everything.
Every note.
Okay.
It is action, comedy, romance. It's emotional. It's deep. It's thought-provoking. It hits so many milestones on what you might be looking for.
It also hits common anime tropes. It's a good way to prepare you for them as you go in the future.
Without absolutely, blunting you with it. It teaches you, what to look for, expectations, while also having really good dub.
Yeah, and a really good dub.
That's a really important part.
Yep. Which means that it's easy for new viewers to get into. I think the only drawback for Angel Beats is it's old.
It's old.
Yep.
Sorry.
So the animation is not quite up to what we're seeing nowadays.
But don't let that stop you.
But honestly, I hope that doesn't stop you anyways, because there's a lot of great older shows and anime out there that are phenomenal.
Like?
Which one do you want me to say?
I don't know. I was hoping you had a segue into another recommend.
Oh, okay. So
I was gonna go with my tried and true, but
What are you doing?
So
over
that
there?
movie that we just saw,
Just saw? Oh, Redline.
Redline, yeah.
I'd recommend that as a first.
Yeah.
I thought that was really a fun watch,
Yeah.
and there wasn't. It really could be an all-encompassing audience.
So maybe this is my hot take here, but I think movies don't really
count.
Don't really count.
They don't count.
Yeah. I don't think movies.
Okay.
They don't count.
Because I think it's so easy for
Put
a
on the
movie to be a one-off for
Okay.
you. Like you can watch Redline, you can watch Akira, you can watch a Ghibli movie, and not really be into anime.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
There's a certain level of commitment. This
Yeah.
might be the hardcore.
Yeah, maybe.
This might be the holier than thou point of view that we might have, where you got to put in the time to be an anime watcher.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, I've watched every Ghibli movie. I love anime. You've seen one grain. You've seen a lawn.
Yeah.
But I also think that like Ghibli movies have a very similar style and a very similar feel, and I feel like if someone has only watched Ghibli movies, do they like anime? They like Ghibli. At
They like
least.
Ghibli, but that doesn't mean that they like.
Yeah. And you're right. That might be my hottest take here. But
Not as a gatekeeping sense, but as a sense that like you really need to be in the dirt.
there's
you know?
so much out there. Yeah. I think we were talking about it before, but I think something that I would introduce or recommend as like a first time watcher. I think Angel Beats always is a great example, but I read a bit of Marshall, and then they made it into an anime.
Yeah.
And I think that is also a really good kind of segue or introduction into anime, because it is directly parroting Western media that you know or have seen or have read, in the fact that the world is basically Harry Potter. It's basically Harry Potter.
Welcome to Hogwarts.
Yeah, welcome to Hogwarts. Except the main character doesn't have magic. He just doesn't have magic.
No magic.
And so he has to...
You know what magic is?
These
One of these things.
He has to solve all of his problems via brute physical strength. And it's just a very funny slapstick comedy.
As an example, it's time to ride a broom. Everyone is floating on their brooms. Wow, magic. Do you know what he does? He throws the broom so hard and then catches up to it and sits on it as it's still being thrown. And look, he's flying on his broom.
Yeah. Or, like the classic scene in Harry Potter where they're like, make your broom rise up into your hand. Now, obviously, he can't do it, so he just stomps on the ground and the broom raises up into his hand.
He's inhumanly strong.
Yeah. But that's what makes it so funny, is he's surviving in a world of magic. And kind of similar to Senyu, not quite the same way, but it's just it's like a bit to bit.
A lot of bits.
It's just a funny, silly little comedy.
My only concern, the plot line just has so many holes on it.
Oh, yeah, it's not deep at all. And it's like the classic, I think we've kind of gone away from it, but in the past, I think a lot of the shonen anime have been like, you need to complete this one task or you'll die.
Yeah, the stakes are put to 100 immediately. And it doesn't stop. And there's a point where you're like, I wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's something that's too predictable about it because, like, oh, if the main character fails, it's over.
Yeah, this show is not a thinker. It's just a funny show to get you into anime as a whole. And it has some tropes in it. It has like your typical Hogwarts kind of setting. So if that's what you're familiar with, I think it's really easy to get into. And it's a comedy with a little bit of action. So
all right, so they watch their first one and they go, this is interesting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now I want to watch some more.
Welcome to other Western media inspired content. Watch Baccano.
Yes. Oh, that's what you were throwing it up for me for.
Yes.
Yeah, Baccano.
So, Baccano, this should also be on your first to watch, but mafioso supernatural immortality shtick on a train called the Flying Pussyfoot.
Yeah.
That's not where I was going, but...
No, honestly, though, Baccano is such an interesting show because when looking at Marshall, the show has no depth. The stakes are what they are, whatever. Baccano is such an interesting and complicated and complex story that follows, like, several different storylines that converge. It is so interesting. It is funny. The dub is phenomenal.
The dub is so good because you have all actors putting on terrible Italian accents. It's the funniest thing ever.
But it's like there are moments, there are characters specifically designed to be the clowns, to be the comic relief, and then it gets into these really serious like mafia scenes, all with this like supernatural undertone in the fact that some of these people are immortals, and sometimes you don't know which ones they are.
Someone gets Tommy Gun down, and they just stand right back up.
Yeah.
And usually that's a villain shtick.
Yeah.
Oh, the villain gets back up. Oh, no. It's like just one of the cool guys, and he's like, brush off my suit. Oh, I hope my hat doesn't have any holes in it.
Yeah.
I think that one of the things that when I've watched you guys talk about this and watched is that if you're watching your first anime and it doesn't hit the spot, you should try something different.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think, we've talked about this, is that if you go onto Netflix or something like that, they'll have a list of anime. And if you just, I go in there and say, well, that looks interesting, or I have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
You watch a couple of episodes and you can do it. And like I said, I saw the Visions from Disney Channel.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those are definitely one-offs. They're standalone pieces, but they made me appreciate the artwork of these different studios.
Yeah, it is a bit difficult. I think Netflix is one of those weird ones where they have so strange choices for anime, where some of them are like, I've never heard of this before.
Well, some of them are Netflix only.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
There are some, before we get really deep into it, there like basically every streaming service has adopted having some anime on it, which also spreads out. There's not one place you can absorb anime, which is an issue.
Yeah.
But there are genuine gems on Netflix that if you know where to look, and this goes into a higher thing, it's hard to get into anime just by yourself.
Yeah.
Like you
I
are walking. I think a minefield is probably the most accurate, because you could be like, oh, this looks fine. And then you start watching it and you are just put off so badly that you're like, nah, anime is not for me.
Yeah. I think that's a good way of looking at it. And also, like, there's so many, like, anime encompasses so much. You could be like, I'm looking for this kind of anime. And then you find something that's similar and you're like, I don't like that at all. That did not hit the spot at all.
We're watching Delicious in Dungeon, right?
Right.
Yep. I would never have selected that.
Yeah.
Yes, I can imagine.
You know, I would look at that and go, that's so odd.
Yeah, that's so weird.
But I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely. I mean, like you said, we're close to finishing.
We're almost done, yeah.
So,
And that one has like 24, 25 episodes.
I think you do need... You need a partner on this journey.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be someone who's watched anime, but you just need someone to be like, hey, we're here together and we'll figure it out. I will say though, I've watched so many anime with people. Like anime is usually like a really great group watch experience on top of everything.
It actually makes it so much better. Like if it's a really intense show, you have someone to like digest it all with, or if it's a terrible show,
dude, rag on it together.
It's actually more fun. Just I think that's like my favorite group anime experience, where you're like, this show is awful. Let's watch this with someone else.
I watched like the lowest rated anime on my anime list with a friend, and we were like, Dad, this is awful. But it was really fun, and we watched both episodes. You were getting into it. I cut you off. Onto, once you're in the thick of anime, what are the core? You're used to it. You've acclimated to the sort of tropes and everything we've talked about. Once you're deep into it, what are some necessary things to really add to that list to make sure that like, we want to make sure these don't slip through these cracks?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I've looked at is there's a bunch of top 100 lists.
Sure.
Those are tough though.
They are tough, and because I think you have to be very careful about what the group thought is on a lot of these. What's the best
Absolutely.
one?
Yeah.
And even our recommendations might have those, or
I mean, we are obviously looking at it from a very like singular perspective. We haven't really touched on anything that's like very shoujo as like a first watch, or like a sports related anime as a first watch.
Because there are some highly ranked sports anime.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
If you love boxing, Hajime no Ippo. Yep. If you like volleyball, Haikyuu is incredible.
What's that basketball one?
Kuroko no Basket.
Yeah.
Or if you want to go classic, Slam Dunk.
Slam Dunk is the one I was thinking.
Extremely highly rated. Other sports ones, you have Prince of Tennis, Ace of Diamonds if you like baseball.
Yep.
If you really like baseball, and my favorite sports anime ever is called One Outs.
Yep.
It is a psychological baseball anime, and it is so fun.
I think the anime that put sports anime on the map for a lot of people is Free.
Oh, true.
It's an anime about swimming.
Oh.
But it was one of those anime that really gained public traction, where people were actually like, whoa, wait a second, this is going to be popular.
Very aware of it as well.
And once again, it goes back to that if there is a topic that you like.
Yeah.
There's probably a show around
There's
it.
probably a show around
I mean,
it.
there's a rugby anime, a soccer
All
anime.
Out.
Yeah.
Blue Lock.
Blue Lock, yeah.
Sorry, gotta flex it a little bit. But we're into the core of, has this slipped through? I think there are the ones that are thought-provoking, and the ones that really make you stop and think at the end of it. Those are the ones that really hit. And I say this because this is basically like my number 2, maybe even number 1, based on how much it impacted me. And every single time I think about it, I'm like, man, that's just a masterpiece.
Yep.
Which is A Place Further Than the Universe.
Oh, yeah.
And that anime is a masterclass in everything. It is an emotional ride. It is about 4 high school girls that go to Antarctica. And the story that's told in 12 episodes is magnificent. And I don't know how to convey how much I love that show.
It is so good, but you will miss it if you only watch dubbed shows.
It has only been subbed.
It is only subbed. And I think that's how you know it's kind of gone under the radar for a lot of people, is if it hasn't been dubbed before.
Yeah.
And yes, you are absolutely missing out if you are not watching it. It's so good.
But it's something you don't think about. And once you're in the thick of it, I think you can... We've talked about the expectations of the extremes of episodes.
Yeah.
We joke about 12 episodes, 24 episodes, and then there's One Piece with 1,000.
Yeah.
There's in-betweens. And I would say the most renowned anime end up between 50 and 100 episodes. Mm-hmm. That includes Code Geass. That is a masterclass of an antagonist-protagonist. I talked about this in a previous episode. There is Monster, which is one of the most in-depth on morality and highly themed and psychological tell.
Yep.
Another one is Attack on Titan.
Yep.
That is an odyssey. I can't ever describe how interesting this... He has not been sold. I was not a believer until I watched it all and realized the journey that it really tells, and it floored me when I got to the end.
Yeah, see, because I've only seen 10 or 11 episodes.
But it changes after season 1.
Oh, okay.
I did not like season 1.
No.
It's been not a difficult watch, but it's just been...
It's not been the most alluring.
Yeah.
The show fundamentally changes the genre of the show after season 1. And it changes further still up until season 4. But yeah, I mean, even more so, you have Full Metal Alchemist, something that we mentioned before.
Don't watch that. that can't be your first one. I mean,
No, we're past the first one.
Okay. Yeah. You're in the thick of it.
I did like it.
Also,
You keep harping on you won't.
I definitely think that Full Metal Alchemist could be your first show.
Oh yeah, it's a banger.
It is one of the most highly rated shows of all time.
It was tough for me.
Why are you saying was? You're not done with it. You watched 8 episodes.
Okay, because as a parent,
you got past episode 4. And
as a parent, it's a tough watch.
Yeah, the themings sometimes are tough, and that is understandable.
Anyways, we're coming near the end.
We are.
This is a call to action at the very end of the day. We do these informative ones to give something that you might not usually a chance. Mm-hmm. Anime is this weird amalgam from the outside perspective that is usually has so much stigma around it, or is just scoffed at and not given the time of day. We've listed off a numerous amount of anime.
So many. Too many.
Most of them are a pretty good watch. I will not vouch for Witchblade.
Don't watch Witchblade.
For my entirety.
Don't watch Witchblade.
However, as stated before, most streaming services have some anime. Mm-hmm. And I would invite you to try and find the ones that we mentioned, or find a genre that really calls out to you. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's what you're passionate about. And I think that's really cool.
And the good thing about streaming services is that you can just hit one right after the other and say, okay, this seems interesting, and then do more than one episode.
I mean, what I was going to say is Netflix has a selection. It's not really the biggest selection. Hulu actually has a relatively large selection of anime. But of course, if you're looking for anime specifically, Crunchyroll
is the top dog.
Is going to be your best bet for showing things.
And now's the time to mention that Unspeakable.
So we're not going to name any names.
Yeah.
However, there's a very financially agreeable version where you can get every single one, even the ones that are on no streaming sites.
Just, watch, where to type in where to watch anime, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that'll help you out.
There's some people that will really help you out and find a place that really agrees with your wallet and the library that you really want to cultivate.
Yeah.
And part of this is grown up is because there is no single source.
There is no single source, which is probably, from my point of view, the most egregious and worst part of it.
Yeah.
You can't just look for anime.
I mean, unfortunately, this is kind of the rise of streaming services and what it's become.
It's segmenting everything.
Yeah, where like, oh, this show is only on this platform or this show is only on this platform. And that's something we deal with on a day-to-day basis anyways, where you can't watch Reacher anywhere except for Amazon Prime, I think.
Yeah, for Prime Video.
Yeah. So, all right. We're at the end of the episode. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all learned something. Maybe we weren't just talking. But now the question is, which one of our alcohols were the favorite? Dad, do you have a sake that you liked more than the others?
I do. And
Okay.
I'm going to group it together in a different way.
Oh, gosh.
I like the Daiginjo.
Yeah.
Okay,
The this one or the other one?
Yes.
Okay, so you
yeah,
like the Daiginjo as a whole.
Yeah.
As a whole, I think that really made a difference that I did not think I would be able
It gives
to
a
do.
full-bodied.
I feel like you're cheating a little bit.
Okay, so that being said, is that
Oh.
if I had to pick between the two,
Okay.
Yep.
you know I like whiskey scotches that have a heavier taste to it.
Yes.
Sure.
So I would say this one is my favorite because it's more full body.
So the
Perfect.
non-Junmai Daiginjo, the Kyodai,
Yeah.
the one where alcohol is implemented even more so
Yeah.
to it, is your favorite.
That is my
Great.
favorite.
All right, really quick, Nick, what was your favorite?
The Taiku, number 2.
Number 2. All right. I think that number 2 was also my favorite,
Okay.
but this one was a
Crazy.
close second.
This one was also really good.
And that's our time. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time
Bye.
on 3 Hamster Boys Podcast. Bye.